These are cutbacks that senior officers warn will have a real impact on people's lives and families. There won't be a police force across the country spared. The jobs of more than 10,000 frontline officers will be lost over the next 2 years, according to Labour Party research, with a third of police authorities yet to announce their cuts. That number will be certain to grow. In addition, a further 10,000 civilian posts will be axed. The government insists the cuts are all about efficiency.
We know that savings can be made in the back office so that the front line can be prioritised, and we're determined to cut the red tape, releasing officers for frontline duties so that the police can be crime fighters, not form writers.
The government's already confirmed that there'll be cuts of 5% to the force next year, but by 2015 its budget will have been cut by 20%. This research shows it'll cost the jobs of 10,190 frontline officers.
What we're seeing is the police are being put in a very difficult situation. They're trying to do everything they can to keep communities safe, to make sure that they're doing everything possible. But the rug is being pulled from underneath them by the sheer scale of these cuts. And that's why you're seeing police officers go. It's the wrong approach, and the government should think again.
The Police Federation fears there will be fewer officers out on the street at a time of rising crime driven up by the recession.
There will be some unintended consequences, and the problem is the people who are going to pay those consequences, or will see the results of those consequences, will be the most vulnerable in society. We don't see that.
These concerns echoed by people from some of Britain's most vulnerable areas.
It put the fear of God in me because, I mean, I've been robbed many times, and touch wood, recently everything's been okay, so obviously I would be worried.
I've had it quite bad actually. I've had my fence kicked down, and I've had loads of problems. My living room windows smashed. So I would hate to think that, you know, they're going to be taken away from us, really.
There's been a lot of investment around here in the police. We've got a new police station just up the road here, state of the art and all that kind of stuff. And it's disappointing to read that today in the newspaper that I read and heard on the radio that the numbers are going to go back to the 70s. Well, the 70s round here wasn't that very nice, and I certainly don't want to go back to those days.
For a government always big on law and order, a substantial reduction in officers leading the fight against crime could become a serious political liability as the effects of the cuts really start to bite.